Some questions don't come from curiosity. They come from guilt. And the moment my wife dropped that question on me while I was standing at the stove, I felt the floor shift beneath my marriage. I didn't know the full extent yet, but I knew something was already broken. It happened on a Wednesday. Nothing unusual, nothing memorable. I was in the kitchen making dinner. Grilled chicken with roasted vegetables, a meal we'd cooked side by side so many times it had become routine. Rachel walked in quietly and leaned against the counter. I could sense her eyes on me, but I didn't dwell on it. She'd been distant for weeks, lost in thought. I assumed it was just work pressure. Then she asked it, "What would you do if I cheated on you?" My knife froze halfway through slicing a bell pepper. I raised my head slowly, certain I must have misheard. "What did you say?" I asked, needing confirmation. "What if I cheated on you?" she said again, her voice more controlled this time. "What would you do?" My heart slammed hard in my chest. This wasn't some random, playful, what-if conversation. The way she said it, calm, heavy, deliberate, told me this question had roots. "Why would you even ask me that?" I said, lowering the knife and setting it aside carefully. She looked away, staring at the floor like it held the answer. "I don't know. I've just been thinking. Things feel off between us. You're always working. I've felt lonely." I searched her expression, hoping to find honesty, remorse, anything. Instead, I found a strange emptiness, like she was already someplace emotionally where I didn't exist. "That's not an explanation," I said firmly. "Why are you asking me this? Did something actually happen?" She shifted, hugging her arms around herself. "I just want to know if you'd fight for us or just let go." And that's when I noticed it. A scent, faint, but unmistakable. Cologne, not mine. Sharper, more expensive than anything I'd ever worn. I leaned in just slightly, and there it was again, a stranger smell on her clothes, mixed with soap that wasn't from our house. The aroma of someone else's world touching mine. "Come here," I said quietly. She hesitated but stepped closer. "Who is he?" I asked, my voice flat and icy. Her eyes widened like she couldn't believe I'd figured it out. "What are you talking about?" she tried. "Don't," I warned. "Don't add lies on top of whatever this is. You smell like another man. And now you're asking hypothetical questions about cheating. So I'll ask you again. Who is he?" Rachel's face collapsed. Tears welled instantly as she stepped back. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. "The sentence every betrayed spouse fears because it confirms everything you were praying wasn't real." "How long?" I asked. 2 months, she said softly. "His name is David. He works at the gym I joined. We started talking, and he listened. He made me feel seen in ways you haven't in a long time. 2 months. 60 days of deception. 60 days of her coming home, kissing me, pretending everything was normal. 60 days of her sitting across from me at dinner while her mind wandered to another man. So that's what this was." I gestured between us. "Your question. You were trying to see if I already knew." "No, she started. I cut her off. "Or maybe you wanted me to find out, so you wouldn't have to confess. Maybe you wanted me to be the one to finally say it out loud." Her tears were flowing freely now. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't know how to stop once it started. Here's something no one warns you about the moment you uncover infidelity. There's a split second where you get to choose who you'll be. You can break down, cling to them, beg them to stay, promise to fix what they broke. Or you can stand tall and protect what dignity you still have left. I chose myself. "Get out," I said calmly. She stared at me, stunned, like she expected me to plead or fight for her or battle this David guy to win her back. "Get out of my kitchen," I repeated. "Pack a bag. Go to your sister's, a hotel, or stay with him. I don't care." "But you're not sleeping under this roof tonight," I said. "Please, we can talk about this," she begged. "We can try counseling. I ended things with him. I swear I ended it today. That's why I asked you that question earlier. I wanted to see if there was still hope for us." A cold laugh slipped out of me. "Today? You cut things off today? So yesterday, last night, this morning, you were still with him. and somehow that's supposed to make the situation better. "I made a mistake," she whispered. "No," I cut in sharply. "Forgetting to grab groceries is a mistake. Double scheduling dinner plans is a mistake. What you did wasn't an accident. It was a decision. Every day for 2 months, you chose him. You chose deceit. You chose to dismantle our marriage piece by piece." She reached for my arm, but I stepped out of her reach. "Don't touch me," I said. "I don't even recognize you anymore. The woman I married would never have done this." Rachel stood there sobbing uncontrollably, and a small part of me, the part that remembered what we used to be, wanted to comfort her. But the larger part, the part she had completely annihilated, felt nothing except a hollow, icy rage. "I need an answer," I said, "and I want the truth. Did you sleep with him?" She nodded, the slightest motion, but more than enough. That was the end. Whatever tiny, microscopic chance there might have been for repair disappeared instantly. "Then we're finished," I said plainly. "I'll contact an attorney in the morning. You can collect your things this weekend. I won't be here. My brother will supervise, so nothing of mine goes missing." "Please don't do this," she cried. "I love you. I made a terrible mistake, but I love you." "You don't betray people you love," I replied. "You don't lie to them for months. You don't come home carrying another man's scent and ask your husband imaginary questions about infidelity. That's not love, Rachel. That's cruelty." She tried to speak again, but I raised a hand to stop her. "I'm done talking. Pack your things and leave." She left that night, dragging a suitcase behind her, still in tears. Later, mutual friends told me she tried reconnecting with David, but he wasn't interested once the secrecy and thrill were gone. Not surprising. The divorce took 4 months to finalize. I kept the house. She walked away with her freedom, which I guess was what she had been chasing all along. Some nights I still replay that moment in the kitchen. Her question, "What if I cheated on you?" If I could speak to that version of myself, I'd tell him to trust his instincts immediately, because deep down, I already knew the truth before I ever smelled a cologne. People who ask, "What if I cheated?" aren't curious. They are confessing without actually confessing. They are measuring your reaction, preparing themselves for the explosion they know is coming. I learned that once trust is smashed, no apology or tae-filled speech can glue it back together. I learned that "I didn't mean for it to happen" is simply a way of avoiding responsibility. Most importantly, I learned that I'm worth more than someone willing to throw away years of commitment for a couple months of attention from a gym trainer. Was it painful? Of course. Did I cry? More than I'd ever admit out loud. But did I ever regret cutting ties immediately? Not even for a moment. Because by the time she asked me that question, her decision had already been made. She just needed me to be the one to end it, so she could pretend to be the victim. I refused to let her play that role. If your partner ever asks, "What if I cheated on you?" trust your gut. That isn't a philosophical question. It's a confession hiding behind a hypothetical. And if you're the one considering asking a question like that, stop. Be honest enough to fix your relationship or end it respectfully. Don't drag someone through months of dishonesty and betrayal. No one deserves to realize they've been living with a stranger who only looks like the person they married. Thanks for listening. If you want more real stories about facing hard truths and choosing self-respect, hit subscribe. Because sometimes the toughest conversations lead to the best decisions you'll ever make, even when they begin with a single question in the kitchen that changes everything.